Welcome, I'm Juan P Lluria, President of Lluria Fine Art Services LLC, appraisers, advisors, and brokers of fine art antiques, focusing on 17th through early 19th century with a strong emphasis on the 18th century for our clients. And today I'd like to discuss one of those, again, overlapping areas as a non-specialist in Asian, not one at all in fact. I'm, however, like many European decorative arts specialists, involved in taking an interest in Chinese export art forms of various kinds. And we've already spoken about Chinese armorial porcelain. Today I'd like to discuss with you something that really started being exported earlier, and that was Kraak porcelain. And that is spelled K-R-A-A-K. Scholars believe the name derives from the ships which were called carracks, and these were Portuguese trading ships. And these Portuguese trading ships were prevalent until the mid-17th century, when they were really surpassed by the Dutch trading company, the East India Company, the Dutch East India Company. And these wares were extremely popular. In fact, you often see them in great Dutch still life paintings by De Heem and that level of very fine painter of vanitas paintings. And this is a typical example, as you would see in a Van Heem painting. And this is a large charger, a charger being always an especially large plate or a shallow bowl. And this is particularly known as a klapmuts bowl by its shape. It resembles a wide rim, again, European soup bowl. And these were made exclusively for export, I emphasize. And the characteristic of Kraak in decoration is, of course, the underglazed cobalt blue, which was so prized, and around the central decoration, which usually comprises a still life, in this case, a small bird perched on a branch. The surrounding border is usually typified by very geometric, compartmentalized little vignettes, usually depicting still lives of flowers. Chrysanthemums were very popular, peonies, and little assemblages of objects. And the thinness of Kraak is another feature you always want to see. And the back of a Kraak piece usually has small flaws that were done in the firing, because remember, these were produced in great quantities to be shipped to the West, and you will almost always see very small flakes and chips in a Kraak piece. Perfect pieces to exist, but they're very seldomly encountered. And the glaze has a wonderful, transparent, slightly, subtly gray, leadish kind of look to it. The borders also have little pointed ends on the scallops. Now, not everything was this large, by the way, and I want to show you two mid-size examples, and one even small one. Of the two I just said were mid-size, are really these two small ones. I'll start with this one. This one is distinguished by the fact that the border design is not as geometric as the prior one. It's almost like they were little acorns, little circular roundels that are pointed at the top like acorns. And this one just has an assemblage of objects in the middle. And again, notice the same roughness on the bottom that you usually will find with very few exceptions. This will be missing. There's always some roughness on the bottom. This one, for example, has less roughness, but there are indications. And this is a small, intimate piece. Again, we return to a very similar kind of border as you saw in the larger one. In any event, Kraak porcelain was very, very expensive. Even in the 17th century, when the Dutch began to bring it en masse in Europe. And Louis XIV's son, the Grand Dauphin, was among the great collectors. So was Queen Mary, consort to, of course, King William, William and Mary. They had a great collection. This was a great status symbol, which is why you see it often appears in the lovely paintings of the Dutch masters. However, today, Kraak, like so many things in which early decorative arts people specialize and which are available on the market, these things are out of vogue at the moment. And this is good news for the collector who really loves them, because for the first time in decades, in practically a century, they're very, very affordable and available on the market. And good mid-priced examples can be found at auction houses and even occasionally on online auctions from serious sellers. So for those of you who are interested, I wish you good luck in your collecting, and if you have any questions, you can contact me through the website for the company, www.lluriafinearts.com. Thank you for your time.